Good morning, guys. So we, on Friday, had looked at page 37 and 38. Today we're going to finish our 37, and we are going to add to page 39 today. All right, so we had started looking at functions. We talked about a function is where every x has one and only one y. And our non-function is when x has more than one y. And we looked at a table here, and we saw that when x was 3, it only had one y. It didn't have a lot of different y's partnered up with it. A good way to look at it is just to look at your x's and say, are my x's duplicated? No. And if it's not, like it was over here, see we had 2 4s, that means if there's 2 4s, then that means 4 has to be paired with 2 different y's. We also looked at a graph. You drag your pencil across it, and if it hits that line only one time, then it's a function. I also talked I know we talked a lot in class about, I had a lot of students who were like, well, maybe right here at the end it might be touching it twice. And I told them, I'm going to tell y'all, that it is going to be cut and dry, meaning it's not going to be one of those that you're like, maybe it doesn't, maybe it does. So if I look at this one, it definitely hits that line twice. And so just thinking about that. All right, so today we're going to look at what ordered pairs look like when we are talking about whether it's a function or not. Okay, so we're going to go back up here to where we had ordered pairs, and you're supposed to leave some space on both sides. All right, so let's look at our ordered pairs. So we're going to do a bracket. I don't remember if I told you on the video how to do kind of a bracket, but you're going to do a loose S. See how that kind of makes a loose S? And then right at that point, I'm going to do a loose backwards S. And then I'll put my coordinates. So my coordinates are going to be 4, 6. Coordinates are always written in parentheses. They're always written with a comma between them. Always. 7, 2, and then our third one is going to be 9, 6, and then I'm going to do a closed bracket, which is a loose backwards S, and then a loose S. And if you can't do it, it's okay just to do squiggly lines. I'm not really picky. And then over here on the other side, we're going to put some coordinates. So put a bracket. I'm going to do 8, 3, 9, 5, and 8, 6. So let's look at if this is a function. Every x has one y. So when x is 4, it only had 6. When x is 7, it only had 2. When x was 9, it only had 6. I can see that there's only one of each of my x's. Okay? And so we're going to put over here that none of our x's were duplicated. We didn't see more than one of those x's. Versus on the other side, which are non-functions, I can see here that there's an 8 and there's an 8. So I'm going to put that when x equals 8, y equals 3, and y equals 6. And that's not okay. We want our x to only have one y that it can go with. All right, so that's how we do ordered pairs. All right, and then there's something called mapping. Okay, so mapping. So mapping is done with usually 2 circles. It can sometimes be done with kind of a rounded box. So I'm going to do a rounded box just because I think it looks cleaner. And mine took up 4 lines. I'm going to do 2 of those side by side with space between them. And this is going to be my x, and this is going to be my y. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to put 6 and 8. So I want to draw a line from the 1 to the 6. And then I want to draw a line from the 2 to the 6. 3 to the 8. And 4 to the 8. And then we're going to go ahead, before we talk about it, go ahead and draw the same kind of setup. So I'm going to do 4 lines of this curved box with the X above it. And give a little space and do 4 lines of this curved box. You also see it in circles. I'll show you what the circle ones look like. I think the circle ones are way more popular. But for our notes it works out. And here we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8. And for our Y's we're going to do 10, 20, 30, 40. So draw a line from 2 to 10. Draw a line from 2 to 20. Draw a line from 4 to 30. And a line from 6 to 30. And then a line from 8 to 40. Alright, so I'm going to give you just a couple of seconds to get that down if you need to. As you know, you're always welcome to pause the video. Make sure you're understanding this material. I have quite a few of you at home that I know are not doing what they need to do or are struggling with the material. Guys, you've got to watch these videos in their entirety, like the whole thing, with sound on, so you can hear me explain it. And then you've got to send me questions if you're not understanding. That is the only way that online schooling can work, is you doing the full curriculum, so the full videos, the full notes, the full assignments, and then asking questions. I know a couple of you have said that you have a parent who can help you or have a tutor. That's fine. Ask them questions if you want to. But you need to be asking questions from somewhere if you're not understanding. All right. So what this is saying is that one of our points would be 1, 6. Another point would be 2, 6. This point would be 3, 8. And this point would be 4, 8. So I heard that each X, I only said 1. So 1, 6. I didn't say 1, 6, and 8 because 1 didn't have a line to 8. Okay? So we're going to put that one line. We're going to underline the word 1 comes from each X. But let's look at this over this side, which is non-functions. 2 went with 10 and 20. 4 went with 30, that's good. 6 went with 30, that's good. 8 went with 40, that's good. But 2 went with 2 things. So we're going to put 2 lines came from 1x. When x equals 2, y equals 10, and y equals 20. Sorry. Okay? So that right there tells us the 4 different ways that we're looking at functions and whether something is not a function or is a function. Today we're going to practice some of that mapping in ordered pair. Tomorrow you're going to have your homework assignment over functions. And then on Wednesday you're going to take a test over functions. And the test is literally going to be me showing you an ordered pair saying function or not. If it's not a function, tell me why it's not, or show me why it's not. For my in-class people that are going to be able to circle it, you are going to have to tell me, because obviously, I mean, you can choose to circle too. I'll give you that option. All right, so let's slide to the left of page 37. I know it's kind of hard because you can see through to my other pages. But we had talked about that X is called a domain or an input, and that our Y is called a range or an output. That will be on your homework. It will be on your test, knowing those vocabulary. So an ordered pair, so let's say that we have the ordered pair 0, 4, 3, 2, 7, 1. Okay? Let's say those are our 3 ordered pair. Now I know we looked at 3 ordered pair earlier, but it doesn't always have to be 3. Alright, so we're going to come over here to the left and we're going to look at our domain. And remember, we learned how to do brackets, so we're going to do brackets. So our domain is our X value. So I'm going to look at my X's. So I have a 0, a 3, and a 7. And we also call that input. For our input, we just list those numbers. 0, 3, 7. Domain and input are both saying our X's. You're just going to, you'll see domain a lot in, actually you'll see both of these in algebra a lot, but I feel like you see domain a lot more. And so then we have our range of an ordered pair. Again, we can do brackets. I'm going to show you how you can do the brackets without doing the loose S. Just do a squiggly line. I don't care. And our Y values are 4, 2, 1. Notice there are commas between our numbers. Yes, you must have commas between your numbers. If not, this reads as 421, and that's not correct. Okay, so be sure you're putting commas between your numbers. And we also call our Y value the output. And so our output here would be 4, 2, and 1. Alright, so we're going to go down below table that we did the other day, and we're going to put mapping. And we're going to do a map. And we're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8, 3, 6, 9, 12. So 2 I'm going to put with 9. 4 I'm going to put with 12. 6 with 3. And 8 with 6. And a cool little shape. Cool little design. Alright, so our domain, remember, is our X values. And remember, on the left was our X values. So we're going to have 2, 4, 6, and 8. We also call this our input. And our input is 2, 4, 6, 8. Our left is always going to be our X's. That includes in our table. You notice a mapping is very similar to a table, except for when there's duplicates, we just draw multiple lines. Our range is 3, 6, 9, 12. This is also called our output. Is Oh, sorry, we don't do brackets for our output. I guess you could. I'm not going to take off points if you do brackets for an output. There's our output. Our y values up here. Alright, so we're going to flip to page 39. 38 is where we did our notes the other day, and now we're going to do on 39. We're going to start on the left side of 39, where we're going to look at ordered pairs. Okay, so we're going to put ordered pairs. Now we're going to write some ordered pairs, and we're going to discuss whether they are a function or not. Okay, so 4, 7, 3, 6, 4, 9. Okay, there's one set. I'm going to go ahead and write all of them down, and then we'll work through them together. 2, 6, 4, 6, 6, 6. Let's skip some lines. 2, 3, 9, 3, 11, 3. And again, I'm sticking to threes, but it doesn't have to be 3 ordered pairs. It's just, it gives us plenty to look at without taking up too much room, I guess is why I'm doing it. Three. Skip a couple lines. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute to get that down if you need to get it down. Okay, so let's look at this first one. So when x was 4, it equaled 7. But I also have another 4 here. So I'm going to circle those. And I'm going to say this is not a function. And my reasoning, so when I ask on your homework or on a test, why not, you're going to put because when x equals 4, y equals 7, and y equals 9. Alright, let's look at the next one. When x is 2, I don't have any other 2s. That's good. When x is 4, I don't have another 4. And when x is 6. Now I can see my y's are repeated, and that's okay. I can have multiple y's. I can't have the multiple x, so this is a function. Let's look at the next one. X is 2, x is 9, x is 11. That is a function. X is 1, x is 2, x is 3. That's a function. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the next two, and I want you to write down your answers. And then, so I want you to push pause, I want you to solve those two, and then push play. Hopefully you spent a little time and you did both of these and you're not just zooming through this video. But I can see here that I have multiple x's. That daggum 4 again. It's not always a 4 though. So this is not a function. Because, I'm going to use the abbreviation for because if that's okay with y'all. When x equals 4, y equaled 6, and y equaled 8, and y equaled 10. Whew! Let's look at this one. Hopefully you already looked at it. X is 3, X is 8, X is 10. This is a function. There was no repeats there. Alright, so I told you I would show you what it looks like to have mapping with circles. And so this is actually what we're going to put on this other page over here. But you can see that it's also done a lot of times with circles. For some reason, I like this rounded squares better. I think it's just easier on a computer to do the rounded, doing the circles. So now we're going to look at mapping. Okay. So we're going to draw, if you want to do the rounded circle, if you want to do the circles or rounded squares, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to do the circles just because that's what it's looked like. So I'm going to do circle, circle. And the numbers in this first one are going to be 2, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I don't know why I'm writing at a slant. And then on the other circle, it's going to be 0, 7, 9. We're going to have a line that goes from 2 to 0. A line that goes from 6 to 9. A line that goes from 7 to 7. A line that goes from 8 to 9. And one that goes from 9 to 9. So function or not, so I'm going to look at each of my numbers. 2 only had one line, good. 6 only had one line, good. 7 only had one line, good. 8 only had one line, good. 9 only had one line, good. This is a function. Okay, let's look at another one. I am going to do the rounded squares. I like those better. Sorry, I'm pretty sure you will see them more as the circles, but so we have 5, 7, 9, and then on this side we have 1, 3, 6, 8. A line from 5 to 3. A line 7 to 1, a line 9 to 6, and a line 9 to 8. So 5 had one line, 7 had one line, 9 had two lines, so not a function. Because 9 had two lines. Alright, let's do another one. We'll go back to the circles. Alright, so this is going to have 4, 5, 8, and 9. And this side's going to have 0, 4, 7, 8, and 9. Draw a line from 4 to 9. From 5 to 4. From 8 to 0. From 9 to 0. So we had some y's over here that weren't used. So one line from 4, one line from 5, one line from 8, and one line from 9 means that this is a function. Alright, we have one more to draw. In this first circle, we're going to have 0, 1, 8, and 9. In this circle, we're going to have 1, 2, and 7. So we're going to draw a line from 0 to 1. A a line from 1 to 2, a line from 8 to 1, and for my 9, we have 9 to 7, and 9 to 2. So I want you to pause the video, and I want you to determine whether this is a function or not a function, and then I want you to push play. Check your answer. Alright, so hopefully you looked at it. So we have 0 to 1, that's only one line. 1 to 2, only one line. 8 to 1, only one line. But 9 here has 2 lines. So this is not a function. And we're going to put because 9 had 2 lines. Alright, if you have any questions, please email me or message me on Teams. I can do some Zooms or I can do some meets on Teams. Just let me know. Alright, good luck.